Hey guys, so we we have to talk about Will Smith. We just have to. I'm filming this the day after the Oscars. I will probably upload it tomorrow. But like I need to talk about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock like I've never needed to talk about anything before in my life because my opinion is so varied, it's so nuanced. My cat just attacked my tripod. Ma'am, get your hands off of that. I also I feel like I'm crooked, but I also I feel like my opinion is not what I thought my opinion would be. Like if you had told me this was gonna happen, this is not how I thought my opinion would be, so we need to discuss it. Hi, I'm Kayla. I do commentary videos on my channel. Usually they're more detailed than this. This one's impromptu. I wrote no notes down. We're just shit talking today. So subscribe to my channel, it's fun here. Please ignore my hair. I was going to wash it today and then remembered I'm going to a yoga class with my friend tonight so that I didn't, and this is all you're getting. Okay, so you saw, obviously, last night at the Oscars, which I did not watch. I watched this unfold on Twitter though. Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. And first thing I have to say is like, honestly, I have watched wrestling my entire life and Will Smith's form was immaculate. It was like 2000s WWE diva immaculate. Like there are few women who bitch slap as good as Will Smith bitch slapped. Like the form, the straight hands, the fact that he had this hand up in case he had to block. Like it was just like an immaculate bitch slap and no one saw it coming. Like you didn't know what he was gonna do. Chris Rock didn't see it coming. Like I have to wonder if Will has practiced this because it was a good slap. And then what are my thoughts on it? Okay, my first logical half of my brain is wow, we don't condone violence, obviously, although I have a hard time calling this violence. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't condone violence. Obviously, Will Smith should not have slapped Chris Rock. However, the trad wife side of my brain was that's kind of hot, right? The wife side of me was which is wild because I think if my husband did that, I would be mad at him, but also a little hot. It would be like, wow, I can't believe you did that, but also that was hot. You know, you can, two things can be true at the same time, and I feel like that's what this is with the situation. Listen, the joke was uncalled for. If you don't know, Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia, which is a disease or condition where you experience hair loss, and she has in-depth discussed online that this is hard for her and has been very difficult for her, and you can see on her face what she thought about that joke. And that leads me into a lot of people have been well, look at Will Smith, he laughed at the joke. And I think there's three possible explanations for this. Yes, I have analyzed this clip. I have watched it many times. First is Chris Rock makes a joke beforehand about how Javier Bardem is praying Will Smith wins the Best Actor award if Penelope Cruz doesn't, his wife, because a man can't win an award when his wife is nominated because her little fragile female ego can't handle it if she lost. And so he was oh, Javier Bardem is praying that Will Smith wins the award. And Will Smith was already laughing at that. And then he told the Jada Pinkett Smith joke, and maybe Will wasn't listening. Maybe he didn't hear it. Maybe sometimes, listen, my brain, sometimes it takes a minute for me to, process things. I'm the kind of person that when you're talking to me, I'll go, what? And it's not because I didn't hear you. It's because my brain is processing it, and then I will reply to you before you answer the what question. Before you clarify, I'll be oh, this is my answer. And it's not because I didn't hear you. It's because it takes my brain a minute to process. So that's one thing. So the clip of Will laughing, I feel it could just be him laughing to the joke beforehand because it was about him. Number two is, okay, Will Smith has been in the public eye for his entire life. So it's kind of if you've ever worked in customer service, you know, there's a customer service you. There's a customer service voice you have. It's not you. You laugh at stupid jokes, you play along because you're in the public, you're doing your job. And I feel part of Will Smith's job is to go to these events and smile and laugh and pretend he's having a good time even when he's not, because he's just there because he wants his fucking Oscar. So he could just have just been like laughing, or like you just like forced yourself to laugh without listening. And then again, he heard the joke and was like, okay, but wait, maybe I'm not laughing. Third is he did laugh at the joke, but then he saw the look on Jada's face. Because a lot of people have like, if you watch the clip, Jada like does not like the joke. She rolls her eyes and like shoots daggers at Chris Rock, which like we stand. We love that. Listen, it wasn't a great joke. I'm so sorry. And like you can joke about anything, I guess, but like you're not free from the consequences. So maybe he, like, people are like, oh, Will wasn't mad until Jada was mad. And like, I saw one tweet of somebody being like, Jada's abusive. Everyone needs to calm the fuck down. Twitter is wilding out today. As a married person who's like a little bit unhinged when it comes to people disrespecting my husband also, I could see him laughing and then seeing the look on his wife's face and seeing how hurt she is, and then immediately being like, oh wait, that's fucked up and that just hurt my wife. And like, that's acceptable. That doesn't make Jada evil or Will a simp, which like, if you're not simping for your fucking wife, don't ever get married. Like, people are really like, oh, Will's a simp. First of all, the whole point of simping is that you're like, you're supposed to be like fawning over and doing stuff for women who give you nothing in return, but like, this is his wife. He probably has sex with her and loves her. He very clearly loves her. So like, stop calling Will Smith a simp. The sexism in this whole situation is fucking wild. So that's what I think happened there, and I think it's totally acceptable to like not realize something's awful until you see how it negatively impacts your partner and then go, oh wait, actually that was shitty. Now, like I said, should Will Smith have walked up onto stage and performed the most immaculate bitch slap since Stephanie McMahon? No. Did I kind of love it? Yes. I saw a tweet that was like, I don't agree with it, but I understand. And that's exactly how I feel about this situation. Listen, sometimes you fuck around and you find out. And that's how it goes. Like, sometimes you shit talk and you find out. Like, I'm so sorry, but like, Will Smith wants to defend his wife. That's his prerogative. Now, I think what's interesting is no one's asking what Jada thinks about this. Because like I said, as like a independent woman, feminist bitch over here, like if my husband did that, I would be like probably slightly mortified, but like I said, also kind of turned on. So it's like, what does Jada think about it? Because that's all I care about. I'm so sorry. I don't care about Chris Rock's face. Let's stop calling this assault and violence. Like, I'm aware that it's technically violence. I'm aware. But like, I just think that context matters so much. And it's wild that we're calling this violence, and like, I'm feeling racism in the violence. Like, if a white man had done that, would we be calling it violence? I mean, maybe if he slapped a black man, we'd have an issue. But if it was like two white dudes, would we have the same response to this? Because I really don't think we would. Like, how long is it going to take for Tucker Carlson to call Will Smith a thug on his show tonight? Literally, I give him 10 minutes, and that is being generous. Like, Judd Apatow literally tweeted that... He tweeted that Will Smith could have killed Chris Rock is what he tweeted. And then he called it he called it like this unprovoked rage and violence. And again, he's painting Will Smith as this like out of control ball of anger. But like, first of all, if you watch the clip, Will Smith casually strolls up there and he opens his hand. That was a conscious choice from Will Smith. If he was out of control, he probably would have tackled him on there, or he would have thrown a punch. Keep in mind that Will Smith did play Muhammad Ali in his biopic, so like, he probably could throw a punch. I bet you he learned how to throw a punch real good. So he opened that hand on purpose to not hurt Chris Rock, but to get a point across. So to act like he's like this unhinged, out of control, violent man is so fucking racist. It's steeped in microaggressions and racism and like the angry black man trope. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it. He couldn't have killed him. Like, the idea that a slap could kill him? Stop. Stop it. That's ridiculous. Again, he shouldn't have done it, but like, also, maybe Chris Rock shouldn't be out here making jokes at the expense of someone's medical condition. Like, it would be one thing if she was just a random actress that shaved her head. Also, Jada Pinkett Smith has shaved her head before, I'm pretty sure. Like, she's had her head shaved like prior in her career. So it's not like this is some like obscene thing, or it's like some girl who had long hair who shaved her head for no reason. Also, a G.I. Jane joke in 2022. Just further proof that the Oscars audience is old people. The children this morning, I bet the Gen Z had to get up and Google G.I. Jane. They were like, what is G.I. Jane? I need context. That movie is old.
Hi, Editing Kayla here. I just wanted to kind of pop on and add that while this is a joke about someone's medical condition like alopecia, I do think that there's more to it that people need to understand. Like, this isn't just a joke about alopecia, this is also a joke about a black woman's hair. And I think that if you don't know the history of black women being mistreated and oppressed because of their hair, you should look into it. There is like a long history behind it about, black women's hair not being seen as professional, their protective styles being seen as unprofessional, them like fighting for the right to wear their hair naturally, which is like what started the natural hair community. So I think it's important to note that. And like Chris Rock is a black man, he knows this. And also, he's actually produced a documentary about black hair and like knows in depth about this. So for him to like go on stage in front of a room of basically white people and like make a joke and attack a black woman for not only her disorder but also about her hair, I think adds extra layers to it that are important to note and understand. And like I said, Chris Rock knows, like he understands that, and so I like again, I don't think that like Will Smith should have punched him, but like I said, I understand. I understand, and I am going to go on in a second to talk about a rumor that the joke actually wasn't written by Chris Rock, but I also don't think that fully excuses him because, like, he's Chris Rock. He's, like, a huge comedian. If he didn't want to say the joke, he didn't have to say the joke. He could have told them, no, I'm not going to say that joke, or anything other than that. I mean, the audience, when you watch the clip, the audience didn't even react to the joke well, and he had to be like, oh, come on, that's a good one. So, like, the joke didn't even land. So, like, Chris Rock had the opportunity to say no to saying the joke, but, like, he didn't. So, like, I do think it is on him in some aspects. Again, like, I don't want to be like it's not that deep because it's just a slap, but, like, also it is that deep for, like, Jada, so.
I also read a rumor that Chris Rock didn't write the joke, which somehow makes this funnier. Rumors have also come out that like Chris Rock and Will Smith made up after the show. I saw a lot of takes of people being like, oh, Will Smith is okay with jokes about his open marriage, but not about Jada's hair, or oh, Will Smith, keep your name out of your wife's mouth, but your like wife's mouth's been in other people's mouths. And it's like, guys, if you don't understand consent, I can't help you. Like, a lot of people, because we as a society can't like wrap our brains around an open marriage, we think that like the entire August situation is pure misogynoir wrapped up with a fucking bow. Jada got so much hate for that, whereas if the tables had turned, Will Smith would be getting high fucking fives. But no, now he's a cuck because his wife had a relationship with another dude while they were having an open marriage. Like, first of all, it's been rumored that Jada and Will have had an open marriage for years in Hollywood. And the only reason we know about it, like, people were like, oh, well, it's Jada's fault because she brought it up and she talked about it in the Red Table Talk. And it's like, please remember, the only reason she brought it up was because August wanted to get some clout from it and decided to announce it to the world, and then the Smiths had to respond, and they decided that honesty was the best policy, and they said they had an open marriage, which, like, by the way, dudes, means Will Smith is probably fucking other people too. I know it's wild. Now all of a sudden you're all probably like, now all the men who were like calling Will a cuck are like, oh wait, but wait. Like, the whole idea of calling Will a cuck is steeped in misogyny anyways, because like, it's this idea that like men are allowed to sleep around and women aren't, because as Gemma Teller Morrow said on Sons of Anarchy, men want to own their pussy. She said it after she was R-worded, and she turned out to be wrong, because that's sexist. And again, these are two consenting adults who agreed to be in an open marriage. So like, why are we all... So like, when everyone makes fun of Will for being a cuck, I'm sure he doesn't care because he's like, you're all fucking stupid, I'm fucking other people. Whereas when you make fun of a medical condition, it's different. But like, let's stop pretending that this is like some severe act of violence and that the Oscars are better than this. Like, people are talking about him taking his award away. Roman Polanski was given an Oscar when he wasn't there because he had fled the country after allegations of him drugging and R-wording a 13-year-old girl. Harrison Ford accepted the award on his behalf and then flew it to him and presented it at a film festival in like France after, where I'm pretty sure he's still hiding from those fucking charges. So let's not pretend. Harvey Weinstein has Oscars that have not been taken away. That room was full of men who I'm sure were abuses. Casey Affleck still has his Oscar, does he not? There are tons of people in Hollywood who have done 8 million times worse than Will Smith. There are people with actual violent records or histories that, like this, again, like it's so hard for me to call this violence when it's like not violence. And I see a lot of white women on Twitter like talking about how this is like equating this to like abuse and domestic violence, and it's like, okay, listen, I understand violence is not the answer, but like maybe when a black man displays like one flaw, we don't automatically start equating him with domestic abusers. Like people need to stop reaching. Stop reaching. You can't be like, oh, well, like I saw like Glennon Doyle, I believe, was like, oh, this is what abusers do. Because like Will Smith, when he, by the way, won the Oscar for Best Actor after this, like you couldn't write this any better, which is why people who think it's fake, this isn't fake. I've been watching professional wrestling my whole entire life. I've been watching the Oscars my whole life, and they have never done anything that's creative. They don't have it in them. But when he won the Oscar later, he said something like, love will make you do crazy things, and people were like, oh, like that's what abusers say all the time. And it's like, okay, like we can have that conversation, but we don't need to have it with Will Smith when he's out here defending his wife. And like there's no proof or facts or information at all about him being a domestic abuser. Like why are we reaching for this? Like for what reason other than to be psychotic? Stop it. Yes, again, Will Smith shouldn't have done this, but this is not some act of like fucking unhinged violence where he couldn't control himself. He walked up there, he slapped him, he walked back to his seat. And like I said, sometimes you fuck around and you find out. Sometimes people deserve to get slapped. Like, I'm all for punching Nazis. I'm all for, like, punching people if they're racist to you. Like, I'm so sorry. Sometimes I support violence, like I said. Also, like, I grew up watching wrestling and soap operas, so, like, a bitch slap to me, I feel like I've been desensitized to it. You know? Like, a bitch slap on a TV show is pure perfection. Mwah. We love them. So when I saw it on the Oscars, it was just kind of like the same thing. Again, context always matters, and I think in this situation, Chris Rock made an inappropriate joke. Honestly, some people in society maybe need to get slapped more often. Like, I'm so sorry. But a slap is like barely assault. Again, it depends on the context. I'm not talking about like domestic violence or like serious situations. This is a more lighthearted situation, and Will Smith said, keep my fucking wife's name out of your fucking mouth. And I felt that, and it was kind of hot. I don't know. And I know people are very torn on this, but I want you to like put aside your pearl clutching and like let your microaggressions go and just like realize that it's not that fucking deep. I thought it was hilarious. I'm kind of into it. I'm on Team Will, okay? You can't stop me. Listen, like I said, I probably would be mad at my husband if he did this for me. If I was Jada. But like, I would love to actually know how Jada feels about this. I can't wait for the Red Table Talk on this because I will watch it like nobody's business. But yeah, like it's a wild situation. I can't believe it happened. Should Will have done it? No, but like I understand why he did. And people have been way too wild talking about Will and Jada for fucking years. Like Will and Jada came out to be vulnerable and to tell their story. Will has talked about his mental health. Didn't he put out a book recently? And like in the book, he talked about how he's jealous of Tupac and everyone ate him alive for that. And like, again, called him a cuck. And it's just like, oh my God, can you let this man like have an emotion without us eating him alive? Maybe if we did that, then he wouldn't feel the need to slap people. I also saw people talking about how, like, obviously men, like, choosing violence in a situation like this is toxic masculinity, which, like, it totally is. But, like, what is Chris Rock making sexist jokes and ableist jokes. Is that toxic masculinity? Because I saw a tweet that was like, why are people calling out Will's toxic masculinity and not Chris Rock's toxic masculinity? And I was like, you know, that's a valid point. I think it's because Will's was more like out there. We like to pretend that words don't hurt. Like, honestly, I would rather get slapped in the face than have somebody say something super damaging about me in public and have to take it. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that. Like, in Will's acceptance speech for his best Oscar, he said, like, you know, in like this industry, you're supposed to like just take the harassment and the humiliation and just let it slide. And like, he's not wrong. Like, their family has been attacked for so long, and you can say it's because Jada won't stop talking, but like, Jada has every fucking right to tell her experience, and if her husband doesn't have an issue with it, you should shut the fuck up. Thank you. So yeah, that's my take. I would love to know what you guys think. Were you kind of into it? Do you hate it? Do you think Will Smith is an assaulter? I mean, Chris Rock isn't pressing charges. Diddy has confirmed that they made up at the after party, so all is well in the world of Hollywood. The most exciting Oscars we'll ever have passed. But let's stop pretending that this was like some ridiculous, violent event, or that Will should have his Oscar taken away, when there have been so many worse people who are abusers who still have fucking careers. You could just look to YouTube for that. But also in Hollywood, like people have done so much more than Will Smith just smacked someone for disrespecting his wife. And again, he open hand slapped him because he knew he didn't want to hurt him. He could have punched him, but he didn't. And I see lots of people being like, oh, Will Smith punched Chris Rock. But like, I need you to learn the difference between a punch and a slap, please, and thank you. So yeah, I needed to talk about it. I couldn't not talk about this. I had to talk about this. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below what you think. Do you think a lot of the response is steeped in misogyny and racism? Because I unfortunately do. White girls, when you're talking about this, think about that. Again, I understand that like seeing a man do a physical altercation on TV can like bring up your own trauma, but I don't think it's fair for you to place that onto Will Smith's shoulders, like, and make him the bad guy and an abuser. Again, technically what he did was assault, but like, I have a really hard time calling this assault. I'm sorry. So that's where I stand. I would love to hear your guys' opinions down below. This is gonna be divisive. I'm sorry. I'm Team Will. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.